Where do we begin with this one? The game that houses so many memories for me and my friends. Destiny as a series has seen me at my happiest moments, and it gave me a sense of belonging when it came to the community. I've met so many amazing people in LFG groups over the years, and I can honestly say, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. Now, let's not get too ahead of ourselves though, because I need to start at the beginning of my personal journey with Destiny. Today, I want to talk about why I loved Destiny 1. The summer of 2014 was when it all began. I had just graduated 9th grade and started going into big boy territory with high school. My summer days consisted of waking up, playing basketball, and going back to sleep. That is, until my friend John had told me about a beta coming for a game called Destiny. Now this game was getting hyped up because it was the developers of Halo who made it, and in my mind, they could do no wrong, you know? I distinctly remember when he told me he found another beta code. I was sitting in my living room playing UFC, while my dad was cleaning his car outside. He messaged me on PSN, and next thing you know, I was downloading the beta, eagerly awaiting for it to be done. A couple hours later, I was locked in PvP playing Control on that one big ass moon map with vehicles. If you guys remember, you'll know that there was like one strike that you could do in the beta, and we ran it so many times that we knew exactly what to do within the first 2 days of the beta being out. What stuck out to me most about the Destiny universe was how unique the world felt, and the sci-fi elements when it came to everything in game. Me and my friends were all in a party talking about how we were all going to get the game when it came out officially. Some of us did, some of us didn't. Funny thing is though, even though it may sound like I got it first day, I didn't. I remember at one point I snuck onto my friend's account to play it, and to this day I still don't think he knows. Sorry, Tommy. I didn't get Destiny until about February 3rd, 2015. My brother surprised me by ordering it for me while I was at school that day. In an almost poetic fashion, he left a note on the table where I played at, and it went something like this. Happy birthday, Alex. I bought Destiny and it should be downloading. Enjoy. I hopped into Destiny around the release of The Dark Below. This trailer had made me a bit moist, I'm not gonna lie.
6 of us went down into the pit. Only one crawled out. I and Eris, the last. I have seen what the Hive call a god.
So moist, to the point that me and my friend Jesus went half on half on the payment for the DLC. Because we shared accounts on the PS4, we would both get the content even though we were playing in 2 separate PS4s. The Dark Below had come with a new raid, weapons, armor, and all the goodies that we now know of, not to mention the shaders. My mind was blown when I had gone through the main story missions and planets. It genuinely felt like Destiny was a whole new world. I had gotten so sucked into the lore that I would walk around patrol areas wondering about the events that happened before our Guardians had landed there. Nerdy, I know. The only way I can explain it though is that it felt like being invested in a really good book and being completely sucked into the pages and losing track of time. Looking back on it, I think the reason I loved Destiny so much was because of how new it was to me. I didn't know what was lurking around corners that was ready to be uncovered. I didn't keep track of my KD ratio or look at the best PvE strats, at least not in the beginning. I didn't have a directory to see what guns I had collected overall. I just logged on and played. The sense of wonder and curiosity is what made my first 2 years of Destiny such a joy. I remember the very first purple that I ever equipped too, the Spare Change 25. That bad boy got me through so many PvP matches. I recorded myself playing with this gun on my PS4, but all my footage since then was scrapped because I sold my account and my PS4 overheated and died. It also died December 2017 when I was defeating the Curse of Osiris DLC boss. Talk about a way to go out, dude. I had recorded about 30 gigabytes of moments in Destiny, from the very first moment we stepped on the Cosmodrome, all the way until the bittersweet departure of Destiny. There was one thing that continuously kept everyone going even when times were at their driest. you know exactly what I'm talking about. The loot. All the weapons in Destiny with all the roles that were imaginable. Do you guys remember the Supremacy? It was a sniper rifle that was only available to those Guardians who went out of their way completing activities in the Queen's Wrath event that started in 2015. I remember the shock I was in to see a guy with an Crucible for the first time. I messaged him and said, "Nice cock." I actually didn't say that, but now I'm gonna get demonetized. GG's. I asked him how much he would want for the account. The conversation went nowhere because I was a high schooler who sat at home and didn't have money. But that entire interaction happened because I liked an in-game item. I didn't have to talk to him for a quest or anything like that. It just happened naturally. Do you guys remember the Vex Mythoclast? The gun looked like a cut-up potato, but the sounds of it were so memorable. I can still hear the gunshots to this day when I wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweat. The loot in Destiny had grown men and women babbling like baby seals, and to be honest, it was a beautiful sight. This feeling of satisfaction and excitement sparked so many videos on YouTube of just people reacting to drops. All the kids who shat their pants when they got their first Zen Meteor, absolutely amazing. My friend Nick has still never gotten a Vex Mythoclast, and I had like 13 laying in my Postmaster. I felt so bad. There were countless times that I would load into the tower, which would take like 30 minutes, and then slide into the Cryptarch, only for him to give me the Dragon's Breath for the 80th time. By the way, I never ended up getting the God of War shader from him. That bastard hid it from me. The nerve. The weapons and armor sets in Destiny are, to this day, one of my favorite things about any game ever. The cowboy animations of the Last Word, the crispy looks of the Hawkmoon, and the aesthetic, the secrecy of Outbreak Prime. Those were just a little taste of what Destiny had to offer. Not to mention the awesome armor pieces like the Ram or the effectiveness of Twilight Garrison. During a certain time period, the community had made a weapon setup that I called the God PvE setup. Fatebringer, Black Hammer, and Gallahorn. Oh yes. Every gun that was a part of that setup was highly coveted, especially the Gallahorn. The Fatebringer hand cannon was dropped from the vanilla Vault of Glass raid. The Black Hammer was found in the Crota raid, and the Gallahorn was found from any source that had a chance at dropping exotic loot. The Galley was so game-changing that people used to gatekeep parties if you didn't have one. Yeah, you had to have a Galley to get in. I can't explain it, but the RNG for getting this weapon was so weird. It's like the game knew how overpowered it was, and you had to be a chosen one to get your hands on it. I can vouch for these players and tell you, every rumor and story you heard about this weapon is absolutely true. Destiny players will never forget the impact of this weapon. Not to mention, I hadn't gotten it until a month before it was sold by Xur, which was followed by a swift nerf that made it irrelevant. In fact, the Galley dropped for me alongside the Crux of Crota in the Crota raid, and to this day, I still think that was the luckiest drop in all of Destiny, like no meme. I'm assuming now we have to talk about Trials of Osiris, huh? PvP, aka the Proving Grounds. Trials was a competitive game mode that housed the best players with the best strats, and hackers. If you had a group of people who were remotely decent, then you had a shot at going flawless. Once you hit that 9-win mark, you were granted access to the Lighthouse, a place that held one chest with the best PvP gear, or the worst, depending on your luck. PvP was an entire different world than raids and strikes. They were absolute killers that devoted their time to getting good, and boy, were they good. You might have heard of players like Real Crafty.
Gets ready to fuck in zero gravity?
Grenader Jake.
No. Oh, fucking A, how the hell did I survive that?
Or Cami Cakes.
Beautiful.
These dudes reinvented the game when it came to going flawless. Crafty specifically was one of the first people, correct me if I'm wrong, to put sniping on the map. Whatever he did, the community replicated. And after that, I feel like everyone who played Trials was an absolute monster. Now me, I loved Trials. I still remember to this very day my first flawless run with the boys. We were playing on Cauldron, and this might have been during the hand cannon era. You guys remember it, right? Last Word, Hawkmoon, Thorn, it was an era. Either way, we swept all our teams, and my loot was trash, as usual, but that very first run will always stick out to me. I would soon after just one-man spam in LFG groups to play Trials, even when I had went to the lighthouse on all 3 of my characters. I just loved playing the game. But I feel like I'm forgetting something, another crucial part of the game. Oh yeah, the music. There were many nights where I just sat in front of my TV, scrolling on Twitter or chatting in the PS4 party, just sitting in orbit waiting to do something. And 2 things were always certain: the planet spinning behind me and beautiful ambient tracks that completely complemented the experience. At one point, I know this is gonna sound nerdy, but I had the entire OST downloaded on my phone because I used to listen to it on my early morning walks to school. Well, that and J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive album. Whether you were fighting bad dudes on Earth or opening up the title screen during Oryx's DLC, you could bet your sweet ass that there was going to be some godlike music in the background. I don't remember a single song in the soundtrack that annoyed me at all. I like to think that this OST has the same effect on people as the Minecraft OST. You know, when you listen to it because it was recommended by YouTube and then a million memories start pouring through your brain, all of a sudden you remember that one time that Ricky absolutely threw the game when you were 1 win away from flawless. Looking back on it, moments like that were aggravating at first, but in hindsight, they were merely a photo for the memory album. Now, fast forward to the present. While I don't know why I don't play Destiny 2 as much, I think I know where to look. If I'm being honest here, the sense of curiosity isn't there anymore. I can pull up a tab now and know exactly what I'm missing when it comes to exotics, armor pieces, titles, shaders, emblems, whatever the case may be. The day-to-day systems that we were introduced to are now the things we do every single day. And maybe I've outgrown it? I don't know. I'm not bashing the game because I will forever love Destiny regardless. And I have spent quite a time playing Destiny 2. But whenever I play Destiny 2, I usually play a couple PvP matches and hop off. In total, I think I've logged on LFG maybe 12 times to grind Nightfalls like 2 years ago. Other than that, I'm a full solo player, dude. I don't feel like doing raids anymore either. But as I write this, I think there was something bigger at play here. The one thing about Destiny and reality that also wasn't apparent in my life anymore were my friends and my family. We all grew apart and did our own things. I think the reason I have so much affection for this game is because it occurred when my family was still somewhat connected on a daily basis. It was a time that I could still look back to and remember very, very fondly. People grow, have families, follow their dreams, and there I was playing Destiny with my friends until 3 in the morning. I had moved to PC in early 2018, so I had to split away from my PS4 friends. It felt like getting out of school and walking to the bus stop with your best friends and then realizing that you have 2 or 3 separate buses to go on. I went on one, they went on the other, and that was it. We weren't together anymore, every Tuesday hitting each other up to do VOG. I don't want to sound like a loner or anything like that, but I'm saying that the social aspect of Destiny for me was just getting burnt out. I'll always remember Destiny as being the game that kept me off the streets and safe. Even though I just sat in front of a monitor for many, many days and nights, those were the happiest days of my life. For being the game that brought so many people together and continuing to today, I am hella excited to see what Beyond Light will have in store for us all, and I hope that it's as good as we all feel it will be. The future looks bright, and I cannot wait to step into the next chapter of not only Destiny 2, but life. To close things off, always remember to keep moving forward, and I'ma see you guys in the next video. Much love. Peace! Also, if you guys are curious, I do stream over at twitch.tv/Alexix, yes, an X instead of an S, and I stream nearly daily, so come through and chat and maybe talk about the video. One thing I want you guys to comment below though is tell me what your favorite best moment in Destiny was. With that being said, I'ma see you guys later!